I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Ascension Parish Council, Thursday, March 13th, 2008. Would everybody please stand for our invocation, please? Our invocation will be led by Pastor Roosevelt McMillan, Sr. of St. Paul Baptist Church.
Eternal God, our Father, we come in the name of Jesus. We thank you right now for all that you've done. We thank you, dear God, for the light that shines in this parish council, this parish president. We pray that you would keep the torch lit, for there are other feet, dear God, that need guidance. Pray for the spirit of unity to continue in this place. And Father, we pray that your love will continue to protect us. And dear God, we pray that the mind and hearts be open to hear and the decision-making process, dear God, be right and pleasing in thy sight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Remain standing, please. Our pledge will be led by honored veterans of the armed service, Mr. Jimmy Haynes, Mr. Raymond Corbo, Mr. Clarence Bremer, Mr. Philip Guidry, Mr. Nick Porto, and Mr. Gus Luna.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call. Ms. Suzanne, take note that Councilman Adrian Thompson, Councilman Todd Lambert are absent. I have an item that would be a two-thirds vote to be put on the agenda. It's the for registered voters. Robert Poche has requested an emergency of moving the voting precinct from LeBlanc Nissan to Fire District Number 1 on the Airline Highway, the old All-Star Ford building. This will be a temporary move.
Move to put on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shakespeare, second by Mr. Kluart. Mr. Poche, would you like to address the council, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. We do have an emergency situation. It's going to be a temporary move. LeBlanc Nissan is building a new building, and they had first indicated we'd be able to get through this election cycle, which would be April and May, and one of their contractors wants to come in right away and ask us, can we get out? I'm recommending that you move to the Fire Training Center. It's the closest one, the most convenient one to that precinct for the voters in that precinct. You would have to use the emergency procedure. I've given you all a copy of what's required. I'm going to recommend also during the same motion that y'all follow that emergency procedure for the April and the May elections, since we expect a low turnout.
Okay, so this is temporary.
It's a temporary
2
movement.
months.
They've given us their word that as soon as they have their new building finished, we'd be able to move back.
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Lohr.
Second.
Second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Poche. Our public comment period, anyone that wants to speak on any agenda item, please fill out a card with Ms. Suzanne, and you will be allowed 3 minutes on your subject. Number 5, we'll get into presentations. First, Councilman Kent Shakespeare, Donaldsonville Arts, Antique, and Author Show. Councilman Shakespeare and Miss Becky Katz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We just want to let everybody know that we're very proud. Donaldsonville's hosting the annual Arts, Antiques, and Authors Show, April 5th and 6th, and I'd like to introduce Becky to come up here. She represents the Chamber of Commerce in Donaldsonville to tell us all about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'd like to invite you all to beautiful, historic downtown Donaldsonville when we celebrate arts and antiques and authors. This is our second time that we've held this event. It's a wonderful event with good food, good music. We have a dog show this year, a petting zoo. We also have a big pirates treasure chest hunt for the children. It's a great family fun, and we'd appreciate you supporting us. I know some of you are cooking for us on Sunday, excuse me, the hot and spicy cook-off. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to cook something that's spicy. That just means our politicians are real hot and real spicy. So we want you to cook for us. So we appreciate you allowing us the time to tell you about it, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And we want to challenge everybody to come out and show their stuff with their cooking on Sunday. And so it's $25 entry fee. And there is beverages on the premises. Okay.
Thank you, Councilman Shakespeare. Next, we have a proclamation, American Red Cross Month for 2008. Ms. Suzanne, please. Please.
To proclaim American Red Cross Month in Ascension Parish, whereas each year during the month of March we formally recognize the Louisiana Capital Area Chapter of American Red Cross and its essential humanitarian role in Ascension Parish. We honor the role of the Red Cross's contribution to making Ascension a better place. Whereas for more than 90 years we have relied on the expertise of the American Red Cross in disaster relief. Each year, the American Red Cross in the capital area responds to an estimated 450 disasters, including house or apartment fires, hurricanes, and other natural and human-caused disasters. Whereas the Louisiana Capital Area Chapter in Ascension Parish makes every effort to save lives long before tragedy strikes by helping individuals and entire communities learn to prepare for disasters. Whereas under its congressional charter, the American Red Cross is entrusted with providing volunteer aid in time of war to the sick and wounded of the armed forces. Whereas without the help of Red Cross volunteers who constitute more than 90% of their total workforce, the American Red Cross would not be able to fulfill the humanitarian mission that is the cornerstone of the organization. We are grateful for the tireless work of the volunteers and employees of the Louisiana Capital Area Chapter. And during this month, we pay tribute to this remarkable organization and all those who have answered the call to serve a cause greater than self and offered support and healing in times of need. Now there be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of Ascension Parish, do hereunto proclaim March 2008 as American Red Cross Month in Ascension Parish and urge all of our fellow citizens to observe this month and encourage all Americans to support this organization's noble humanitarian mission.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody here representing the Red Cross? I'm sorry, sir. Give him, please, down.
Oh, you want to get a picture?
Chairman, he'd like to address.
Thank you very much for this recognition. We appreciate each year you recognize the American Red Cross during March, which is declared National American Red Cross Month. As cited in the
In the proclamation, we continue to work diligently to prepare all of our citizens for the eventuality of any disasters that may hit our area. But on a month-in and month-out basis, we currently respond to one house fire every 19 hours throughout the year. But I want to tell the council how much we, as an organization, value the tremendous relationship that we have had with your Office of Homeland Security, the fire departments throughout your parish that we work so closely with. We can't do our work without the close working relationship with the parish officials, and we appreciate that very much. I'd like to recognize also Ms. Anna O'Banion, who was with me. My name, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm Vic Howell. I'm the CEO of the chapter. Anna O'Banion, who was with me, represents one of the volunteers that was recognized in here. She's a resident of Ascension Parish and is symbolic of the people who give so much of their time to doing the work of the American Red Cross. So I thank you very much for this honor. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Howell. Next, we have a proclamation for Melvin Irvin Senior Day. Mr. Irvin.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that one of his grandchildren is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Terrence Irvin. Aren't you his grandchild? Excuse me? What did they want me to say? Okay. To proclaim Melvin Irvin Senior Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Melvin Irvin Sr. is saluted and recognized as one of the elders of our Ascension Parish community, and whereas Ascension Parish as a community is strengthened and led by members whose fellowship and service is not only witnessed in a place of worship, and whereas Melvin Irvin Sr., as such a member of the Hillaryville and Ascension Parish community, is a founding member of the Water District No. 2 Board, and whereas Melvin Irvin Sr. is a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish and has through various service organizations represented leadership for his community and parish, and whereas Melvin Irvin Sr. has shown such leadership in his spiritual community as a deacon for Hopeful Triumph Baptist Church for 50 years, and whereas he is being honored by the same as Senior Citizen of the Year. Now there it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of Ascension Parish, do hereunto proclaim Sunday, March 16, 2008, as Melvin Irvin Senior Day in Ascension Parish.
I'm a senior.
Council, I just want to take a minute or two to thank you for this proclamation. We think highly of our father. Anytime the public recognizes his service, he's presently 85, 86, maybe 87, I don't know. But, you know, he told me he stopped counting, and we did too. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Councilman Urban. Okay, next we have the recognition of the Donaldsonville High School girls basketball team. Mr. Oliver Joseph will read a proclamation, and Mr. Kent Shakespeare will name the young ladies.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is hereby awarded to the Donaldsonville High School Lady Tiger basketball team and Coach Butch Little. Ascension Parish is proud to present this certificate and achievement to the Donaldsonville High Lady Tigers and Coach Little. In recognition of their 32-4 season and a 2A state basketball high school championship appearance. Congratulations. Keep the good work up. Tommy Martinez, Ascension Parish President. Coach Little.
This is Coach Wilman Little. Coach Little. I happen to know him a little bit. I'm raised here a few times, and he was my coach in middle school, and I coached with him in high school. Go to the youth with the rest of the youth. Oh, I'm sorry. Ashley Sewell. Gabrielle Joseph. Casey Elface. Thea Johnson. Bria Sutherland. Deshaun Smith. Kendra Coleman. Caleb Olair. Latoya Walker. Brianna Harvey. Naomi Julian. Lucy Stevens. We also want to recognize Assistant Coach Phyllis Falcon.
We'd like to tell you, talking to Coach Little before the meeting started, he said he coached one of our cops until I found out was Falcon Chase now. Butch tells me he was coaching for quite a few years at that time. So
Let's just stay with perspective, and I want to thank the council for recognizing the achievement of DMA. I did coach Kent when he was in the 7th grade, that tells you how long I've been here. And this is one of the finest group of athletes that I've ever worked with DMA.
Basketball team.
Okay. George, can you dunk? No. He said all the short ones get on the front row. I was getting on the front row. Okay, next, item number 6 will be our parish president's report. President Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council. First, I'd like to congratulate our ADA, Ms. Lindsay Mander, for being named President of the Parish Attorneys Association, so we want to give her a hand of applause. And Ms. Sherry Kinchin was named Secretary for the Louisiana Recreation and Parks Association. So. First item on my agenda, I'd like you to approve tonight appointment of Mr. Richard M. Compton, Jr. as Planning and Zoning Director. Mr. Compton currently resides in Florida. His family lives here in Ascension Parish. Had a good interview with him. He's got a lot of experience. He's an urban planner. I think over the past few years, that's something that we've been lacking here in the parish. I think he's going to do an excellent job. He has all the qualifications. Seems to have the personality. So I'm going to ask you tonight to please approve him as the new Planning and Zoning Director in Ascension Parish.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion approved.
Thank you. Next, I have a lease of property located at 122 East Railroad Street, Gonzales. That's the Pasqua building, the old Pasqua building. We need more room. I don't even have a conference room. I don't think, even when Mr. Hughes was there, not that we have that many. I don't think we have any new employees that would take up those space. In fact, we got less. But since Ms. Manda and her staff moved in, we need more room. And also, the parking lot that we currently use is 6 feet on that property, so at any time. The rent is $750 a month, and the parking $50 a month. There's an option there to purchase it for $209,000, which we could, at that time, then probably concrete the back and make a lot more parking, and hopefully bring human resources over from the courthouse so we can have everybody in one place. So I'm asking you tonight to lease it for $750 and the parking for $50, and to please consider the thought of the possibility of purchasing it. I could come back with that. If we do purchase it, they'll apply the first 3 months to the purchase price.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Shakespeare,
Second.
second by Councilman Clord. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Last but not least, I'd like to call Ms. Kinchin up with the Apple Group. It's a program that we have in our recreation that's going to be put up for nomination for a national award. So I'd like to call her up and let her discuss it with you and explain it to you and let her tell you the good news. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Actually, we have been selected to make a presentation at the NRPA Congress, and I've invited many of you to get involved in that and come to the conference with us. But we will be making a presentation on Tuesday at that conference, and I really wanted you to meet the team. So if they could all stand up real quick and come up and just let you see who the team is. This is Dr. Rebecca Mandel. I'm going to let her tell you about the other two ladies. Behind her is Betsy Baldwin, who came to me with this wonderful idea. Beth Clark, who is also one of our fantastic volunteers and helps coordinate. And Trent is also on our board, who's in our technology department. So I give you Dr. Rebecca Mandel.
Thank you for letting us speak tonight. This is Mrs. Jennifer Wisenhunt and Dr. Karen Sheridan. We are all employees of Office for Citizens with Developmental Disabilities, and we wanted to thank you for approving that you would allow us to work with you and to write the grant and accept the grant for the money for the full inclusion program that Apple offers. Each of you have been given the statistics that we have so far. I don't know. Do you have this?
Yes.
Just making sure. And we have seen a great increase in the number of children with disabilities interacting and participating in some of the recreation activities, as well as children without disabilities. So we wanted to provide you with the statistics of the program because I believe that we are at our 6-month mark now. The grant ends in October. You've been also given a list of the dates of the following activities that we are going to be doing, so if anyone would like to come by on Saturday, we are having T-ball. Betsy, would you like to say anything about that?
We are about to kick off our T-ball league for Apple. This Saturday we will be having skills and drills to help see what kids are going to go on which teams. Apple T-ball league is going to start. It's a non-competitive, totally inclusive league that invites children of ages 4 to 13 to come out and participate together in the community and just have a good time. I really feel like having kids enjoy their life through recreation and being in a non-competitive setting so that they can actually enjoy the sports and start to learn the skills is very important. So that's one of the reasons that this program actually got started. So, and I do thank you all for your time.
I just want to brag a little bit about Betsy. She's one of our new teachers in the Ascension Parish school system. She'll be an adaptive PE teacher next year, and she's done a workshop with the school system on our program and has really kind of made that loop in the communication. So Betsy is the future of recreation in Ascension Parish, but I'm really proud to be working with all these people. She's also Mr. Jimmy Haynes' granddaughter.
Okay.
So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Okay, next consent agenda, we have nothing. We'll go into our committee reports. Number 8, Transportation Committee, Chairman Dipsy Lambert.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to call up DPW Director, Mr. Bob Turner. We have a couple of items.
Chairman Bell, members of the commission, committee, council, Mr. President. These are 2 items that were deferred from the last council meeting. They're essentially the task orders, contracts for right-of-way acquisition on West Worthy Road and also Roddy Road Bridge project. The West Worthy Road, we're ready to put that bridge under contract. These are not for the bridge itself. This is for the road project because the bridge project does not require any additional right-of-way. So I want to be sure that I was clear on that this is not for not holding up the bridge project on West Worthy. It is has to be done prior to us letting the contract on the road, on Roddy Road bridges. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go ahead and make this motion that we accept.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cullen. Any objection? Any discussion? Motion carries.
Okay, we had B, Roddy Road, right-of-way mapping for $26,465.
I have a speaker on this item, 8B. Mr. Garrett? All right, sir. You'll have 3 minutes, please, sir.
Okay, I had
requested that we be able to project this, but it wasn't available here. So it could on the other side, so I'll start my 3 minutes just by going over the documents. If everybody has them, please don't start counting until you have your documents, and I'll just read them along with you if you don't mind. What I have are some documents that at first I couldn't get hold of, but we did make an agreement that's a long handwritten agreement called Memo of Understanding. And this is an agreement when they started canceling or postponing some of the projects. We met with the parish president and the parish attorneys and the chief executive officer, Mr. Smith, and my son, who used to represent me. He can't now because he represents Police Jury Association. There's a conflict. But he and y'all's attorney, Miss Stephanie Wall, who was the parish attorney, assistant parish attorney at the time, wrote this out. And if you'll go down to the last paragraph, it said, should the road set forth in the attached invoices, which was Roddy and some others, be completed or reactivated, Pelican shall renew acquisition services at the prior contract rate, providing a dollar-for-dollar credit to the parish. And if they shouldn't do them, then we wouldn't be entitled to our second payment on that. We made that concession to get paid, although we would normally be owed whether they did them or not. I go into the next document, which is a transcript. You can glance underneath it and see what looks like just scribbling, and it pretty much was. And when I met with Bill Rue, on several occasions, he kept telling me to get ready, review everything. And I've been told that many times, to get ready for Roddy Road and the others. And the first three things are not of great importance, except we were trying to negotiate a task order contract like the council had voted to do, rather than voting to cancel my contract. But anyway, the number 4 was where the full right-of-way program would be done. That's where we do all of the surveys and appraisals and stuff rather than fast track. And they would be copied to me as soon as they got them so we could start. And they gave some new limits and new construction plans. And this was signed by myself and by Bill Rue. The fact of whether or not my contract expired, we maintained that it did not, and a review of the tape of that meeting would show that the council voted to simply renegotiate the contract. That was on the agenda and so forth. But anyway, the main thing
That's 3 minutes, Mr. Garrett. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking not to break this agreement, if you can. And we can. I've never had a chance to talk about it like we thought, but I will at anybody's convenience. I missed a call from Tommy, so he was trying.
Okay, Mr. Bob.
This particular item that's before you at this point is the right-of-way mapping to make the acquisition for the Roddy Road Bridge project. It's a task order contract to SJB Group in the amount of $26,465. I would recommend that you approve it. Be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Cullen. Second by Councilman Cluart. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Valentine.
Since it's on the Transportation Committee, Chairman Lambert, this was discussed at the Chairman meeting. I mean, it was discussed even previous, and y'all discussed it again when we deferred it the other day. Okay.
Yes, everything is clear and ready to move forward with the project.
And it also was approved by the committee. All right,
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Any more discussion? Councilman Lower.
I'd like to hear from our parish attorney as to whether or not what our legal opinion is, if we actually have an agreement in place with Mr. Garrett. Lindsay, do you mind?
Mr. Babin was handling this, and when I spoke to him, he said that the contract had effectively been canceled. that we do not have a contract. If there's a dispute, we'll certainly address that later. Any other questions?
Thank
I
you.
got a
Thank you,
question.
Lindsay.
Councilman Kluart.
Lindsay, real quick, do you have a copy of what Mr. Garrett handed out?
Yes, I have a copy. He provided me with a copy.
On the first handwritten thing, is there a date on it?
Is this the handwritten memo of understanding signed by Ms. Wall that you're referring to?
Yes.
Stephanie Wall was not authorized to sign a contract for the parish. It should have been signed by the parish president or the council chairman. Unless someone from the previous council recalls an executive session wherein she was. It doesn't have a
Mr. Chairman? that all
Yes,
right?
sir. Councilman Valentine.
I want to call point of order. We need to get back to the original discussion, and that is we have a motion and a second on the floor to award the contract. Any dispute or any suits that may be against the parish really shouldn't be discussed.
We're
in
not,
public
we're not
meeting.
talking dispute right now. You,
Well, that was asked, though, so let's
okay,
get
and you
to
was
it.
asking about a date?
Yeah, I
Is that
just
correct?
wondering if-
I don't see a
That's all
date
right.
on this memorandum of understanding.
That's good, you answered my question.
Okay. Any more discussion? Councilman Lambert?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to let you know that the next meeting will be April the 8th, following the utilities meeting. Thank you. The end of my report.
Any more discussion? We got a first, we got a second. Any opposition? Motion carries. We'll move into our general business section. Number 9, contract with First Call Community Information Line, OEP Director, Mr. Rick Weber. Mr. Weber.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Mr. President. Last year, OEP began an upgrade of the reverse 911 system, the telephone alerting system for the parish. It's exceeded all standards that we set for it, and we want to complete this project by adding the inbound system, which will allow members of the parish to call in and dial into a 1-800 number and receive emergency information through a recording on the phone. What it does, it reduces the impact on the 911 center, Homeland Security, and the petrochemical industry. So I'd like to request your approval to move forward with the contract.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Joseph. Any discussion? Councilman Lohr.
Rick, just a question about the alerting system. In reading through it, it sounded like, is it only landlines that it would send out an alert system? Because I know a lot of folks don't have landlines, and I was wondering if there's capabilities for people to register their cell phones and get text messages and all that kind of stuff.
The outbound system will allow someone to register PDAs, also register cell phone.
Okay.
And it's based on their zip code. So whatever zip code they live in, if there's a hazard within that zip code, it will alert them.
Great.
Any more discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Rick. Number 10, bids. Mr. George Rodillier.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Council, President. We only have 4 items I need to go over with you tonight. I'm actually going to pass on item A, if you please. On February the 20th, the Purchase Department received 3 bids for pump sand. The Purchase Department recommends accepting the lowest qualifying bid from Brea Industries Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Shakespeare, second by Councilman Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you. On February 20th, the Purchase Department received 1 bid for coal mix. The Purchase Department recommends accepting this lowest qualifying bid.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
On February 20th, the Purchase Department received 1 bid for asphalt. The Purchase Department recommends accepting this lowest qualifying bid.
Councilman Shakespeare makes the motion, second by Councilman Kluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
On February 27th, the Purchase Department received 2 bids for PVC drainage pipe in various sizes. Received 2 bids on that. The purchasing department recommends accepting the lowest qualifying bid from Corbin Supply.
Motion. Second.
A motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. George. Item number 11, grants. Ms. Martha Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, President Martinez. I have before you here tonight 4 grant applications that I'll kind of group together, and we can probably make one motion. We have Governor's Safe and Drug-Free Schools and Communities Office Grant that's through mental health. We have Substance Abuse Prevention Grant through mental health. This is a new grant also. And Substance Abuse for Treatment Grant. And the 4th one is the Keep Louisiana Beautiful Community Grant Program. These are all new grants that we would ask your approval to apply for, sir.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
All right, President Martinez asked me to indicate how much the funds were. Keep Louisiana Beautiful is, we're applying for $15,000. The substance abuse treatment funding is $60,000 plus. The substance abuse prevention is $38,000. And the Governor's Safe and Drug-Free is the average between $25,000 and $30,000. That we have a threshold, and then we're awarded whatever the state provides to us. Okay? And the last one is a housekeeping. We, in 2007, 2008, when we changed over, these grants are existing, when changed over to the new administration and we sent out notices to the agencies that we had grants with, authorizing President Martinez to replace former President Hughes, one of the agency came back and asked us to also come back to the council and add Ms. Gwen LeBlanc in a formal motion that our applications are normally signed by the parish president, and all financial documents are either himself or Ms. Gwen LeBlanc has the authority to sign.
So moved.
So it's a house.
Councilman Shakespeare makes a motion, second by Councilman Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. Item 12 on our agenda is the contract with Billy Osimo to investigate the Mental Health Office and the Mental Health Board. Legal counsel, Ms. Lindsay Manda.
This contract was negotiated by ADA Ricky Babin. Mr. Osman will be paid $100 an hour up to $10,000 for investigating, well, you can see on page 1 the scope of the services. About 7 items right there.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Valentine.
Second.
Second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion?
Chairman, I do want to add the time frame here. He's got from March 4th of this year to June 4th of this year, so it's a short window of time.
90 days, right. Okay. Councilman Kluart, please.
Yes, Ms. Manda.
Yes.
I would just like to know that something is drawn up with the scope of work within there. Maybe a little bit more detailed, but
more detail than the services listed on page 1?
Basically, the depth of the investigation, you know, where we're going, how far we're going back, whatever.
Okay. Would council like to suggest a scope, or is there anything else that you all would?
I don't have any history of it. I would just not like to go back 50 years or anything like that.
Okay.
So I'm sure you can look at the minutes of the meetings and see where this came up before. So, thank you.
Councilman Clue, are you suggesting that we amend the contract?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
Ma'am. Just explain to Mr. Arsaman what exactly we're looking for. Just reiterate that to him. Okay.
Any more discussion? Councilman Joseph.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I just recall last meeting when we had this the attorney, Mr. Ricky Babin, we was trying to avoid, and we had appointed the other attorney to assign or find that services. And I'm just, with Mr. Ricky Babbitt's names on this contract, I'm just questioning that based on what the motion was the last time, that's all. Is that maybe a problem? Mr. Shakespeare had made
Councilman
that.
Shakespeare?
I think all we had wanted was that the investigation not be conducted by Mr. Babin, and that he should go out and find an independent group.
Find an
And that's what he
independent,
did.
that's correct.
That's all the concerns were.
All right, Mr.
I
Joseph.
just want to clarify.
Any more
That's it.
discussion? Any more? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Manda. Item 13, we will pass on 13. We'll get into our planning and zoning recommendations. Item 14, Mr. Laverne Bourgeois.
Mr. Chairman, panel of the council, President Marshall, tonight we are here with a recommendation from the zoning and planning, actually zoning committee, which is a zoning review ID number 1845.08, lots 2, 3, and 4 of the Forest Lawn subdivision for the Lakes of Ascension LLC, which is located on the south side of Highway 621, approximately 800 feet east of Louisiana Highway 73, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium-intensity residential, RM, to mixed-use, MU, located in sections 34, Township 9S, Range 2E, Southeast Land District, Ascension Parish. This is to accept or deny the zoning commission's recommendations, which is to deny the zoning request of the applicant.
Move to accept the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation to deny.
Motion by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Clord. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bourgeois. Next, I'll go to 15. I do have a speaker, Ms. Catherine. I will read the introduction, Ms. Catherine, before you start, to convene an advisory commission to review the Home Rule Charter adopted May 4th, 1993, and approved by the electorate on July 17th, 1993, to determine if any amendments and/or repeals of current provisions are warranted. Ms. Catherine, you'll have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you for your attention. There are 2 documents, an ordinance authored by Mr. Keith Crawford and another I received on Tuesday, not in your packets, which is being introduced tonight. I have 2 questions. Who altered the ordinance you are being asked to introduce tonight, and who directed the document be changed? Changes made to the ordinance are quite revealing, and for the public's benefit, I'd like to review them. The original document gave each member of the council 1 appointment. The altered version adds 2 for the parish president. The section compliance with laws was removed from the original. Will you give notice, post agendas, publish minutes, release records, and allow public comment? This sentence was removed under parish obligations. If the meetings of the parish council are televised, then the meetings of the commission shall be televised. Why would you not want to televise these meetings? The people, after all, will ultimately be the ones to approve any changes at the ballot box. Why then would you want to hide from the public? These changes reveal much about the motives of those who are promoting this commission and this ordinance. Why did this ordinance not go through the strategic planning committee where changes could have been ironed out openly? Is it your intent to muzzle and blindfold the public? Why are we considering these changes to the charter? Some wish to reduce the number of members on the council from 11 to 7, 5 districts with 2 at-large seats who would run parish-wide. They believe that the charter creates a power struggle between the parish president and the council. The charter itself creates no power struggle, gentlemen. It provides a division of power with checks and balances. It is the people in office that create a power struggle. Under the charter, the parish president should be an administrator to carry out the wishes of the council, but past presidents have wanted to control rather than serve. This is the rub. I believe a lower number would not make the council more manageable, as is suggested by these proponents, but easier to manipulate. Fewer councilmen will decrease representation for the people and increase your individual workload. William Penn, who established the government of Pennsylvania, has said this: "Let men be good, and the government cannot be bad. But if men be bad, the government will never be good. The key to good government is found in the quality of men who rule, not in the quality of laws that they pass. Do you want good government? No change in the charter will improve our government. It is your character being revealed in every decision that you make that determines the effectiveness and the quality of our government. Remember, gentlemen, good government is never practiced in the dark. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Lindsay?
Yes, council members, do you have any questions regarding the ordinance?
Councilman Shakespeare?
Yes, I do. The ordinance is listed had about the televised meetings and
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I understand what point of order. Can I speak? I understand Ms. Mander walk in and ask any question, but really should have a motion and a second before the discussion.
We're getting there. Thank you, sir.
I apologize.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'll need a motion to introduce the ordinance.
I made that motion.
Councilman Shakespeare, second by Councilman
I'll second.
Cullen. Okay, any discussion? Councilman Shakespeare.
Now, as we're doing it properly, I just have a question of why that they would take out the televising, and I would like to have that added to that, if it would take an amendment to the ordinance.
Yeah, we can certainly amend the ordinance to include that the commission meetings be televised.
My
That's not a
question is,
problem.
when do we do this? Procedure-wise, do we wait until it's
We can amend the ordinance either prior to adoption or between, or after the public hearing is had. We can do it at any time. I mean, we can do it tomorrow.
okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, since we do have time, we can make, I can make a motion that we would add that, the original
Yeah, a motion or an amendment?
an amendment to this, to add to this ordinance, that we put back the original wordage in there about the televised meetings.
Okay.
Right, and Councilman Scheck-Snyder, the only reason that was taken out is because typically administration will decide what's televised and what's not. But if council directs administration to televise it, we'll put it in there.
We'll address that later.
Okay. We have a motion on Councilman Shakespeare's amendment.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
What are we doing? What are we at?
Councilman Shakespeare is amending the original motion.
He needs a second?
Need a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilman Valentine. Any discussion? Any objection? Let's go back to the original motion.
Hang on, I want to discuss.
Okay,
Let's
sir.
discuss
Go ahead.
that. Sorry. I do have a few questions, Ms. Mander. I guess, Councilman Scheck-Snyder hit on it, but I'd like to know, Parish President, why did we take it out?
Right, no.
Okay.
Yeah, Parish President Martinez did
No,
not
that's what I want to know.
ask for that. No, it was in reviewing the ordinance. I was told, well, I understood that it was an administrative function regarding the television, what's televised and what's not, and I know we've had some issues with the cost involved with that, so I wanted to leave that up to administration. But certainly, if council wants to direct administration,
Sure.
we'll make that amendment.
That's what this board, what this legislative board sits for, and we determine the cost, and via the parish president's administrative, and it shouldn't be the legal council that decides that. One, we do want to have an open government, and I think it would be very beneficial for our citizens to sit and watch these proceedings, because they will be voting on it. You have a lot of people, like tonight in Donaldsonville, a lot of people not able to make it. You have a lot of old people sitting at home, elderly people sitting at home. You have people with children. They can say what they want, but a lot of people watch Channel 21. Now, some people may call it the comedy channel, but they watch 21. And it makes for good government to do that. The other thing that I have a problem with, Chairman, is the fact that we've taken out the open meetings, which I have both of the copies here, the one at Mr. Crawford, which I commended Mr. Crawford and Ms. Mander for putting together, and of course the latest one that we have here. And on this one, it has compliance with laws, where the commission will be subject to all the laws pertaining to a public subdivision in the state of Louisiana, including open meetings laws and public records law. I really don't know why that was taken out either, but I think it should be put in because you will have people that will serve on this commission that are not familiar with open meetings law, that will be appointed by members of this council and the parish president, and they need to know in writing what their duties are. And it is incumbent on us to make sure we govern that by an ordinance. And I think that is very pertinent to this agreement also, which goes back to the original agreement, and I don't know why it was changed or why that was taken out. Can you explain that one?
Councilman Valentine, it was redundant. I mean, we're required to follow state law. In your packet, we have state law included here. Open meetings law, public records law automatically applies, so we felt it was superfluous.
Well, I don't question it. It may appear to be redundant, but just saying commission meetings shall be public meetings and shall be held in the official meeting place doesn't mean that they have to follow the public meeting law. And if you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying, but this commission is created pursuant to state law, and state law will apply. So
okay. Well,
there was no intention to.
Right, and it's pursuant to the fact that the charter allows it to be done, to be reviewed.
The charter and state
law. That's correct. Correct. And one other thing that I did have was the fact that the parish president gets 2 members. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to yield. I'm going to compromise with Tommy on that. I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you.
So I guess my opinion, I understand Mr. Shakespeare's amendment. I wish he could retract it so we could make an amendment to also include compliance with the laws, which would be the opens meeting law as per state government and public records, which they'll fall in both of those.
I will amend my motion to include that because that's certainly the intention of this group is to have open meeting laws apply as well as televised. So I will include that in my amendment.
Okay. We've got a first and a second on the amended motion, substitute. I'll go back to the original. We've got a first and a second. We have any more discussion? Any objection? Motion passes with the amendment.
Thank you, Council.
Next, we'll go to our public hearing ordinances. Legal counsel, Ms. Manda. I'll need a motion to open public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to open public.
Councilman Kluart.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cullen. To amend the Ascension Parish zoning map for medium intensity residential, RM, to Crossroads Commercial, CC, located in northeast 1/4 section 21, Township 9 South, R3E, Parish of Ascension, zone review ID 184008, Ivy LeBlanc property, lot A1, 1.44 plus acres for Barbara Little, located on the northwest corner of Louisiana Highway 935, by Northeast Road and Roddy Road. The public hearing is open for comment. Anyone would like to talk? Come forward, please. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm Kimlin Bailey Lomas, paralegal for the parish, and I'll be reading off the ordinances.
Okay, hold up before you do that. I'll need a motion to close the public hearing. Councilman Johnson? Okay, ma'am.
Purpose: to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map by rezoning a certain parcel of land from rural to Crossroads Commercial, whereas the parish of Ascension has in effect a comprehensive plan of zoning in pursuit to that plan, a parish-wide development code, which was adopted by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority, which became effective on June 1st, 1999. Whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code provides for a procedure for its amendment to allow the rezoning of property to a different classification. Whereas the herein below described property is located as such that rezoning the property is in conformity with adjacent land uses, in conformity with the general land use plan of the parish, not injurious to adjacent properties, and fully meets the qualifications for rezoning set forth under Louisiana law. Be it ordained that the following described property be rezoned from rural to crossroads commercial, the LeBlanc property. Be it further ordained that the land use map of the Ascension Parish Development Code be amended to reflect these rezonings, and that the Office of Planning and Zoning be authorized to make such changes. We have the legal description attached.
Need a motion for the ordinance, please? Councilman.
Point of order.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, because we deal with zoning and change planning, it has to be done legally. You read the ordinance, which we just read first. Now you need to open
Okay.
public
Ordinance
hearing.
to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential to crossroads commercial located in the northeast section, 1/4 section 21, Township 9 South, R3E Parish of Ascension, zoning review ID 1840.08, Ivy LeBlanc property, lot A1, 1.44 plus acres for Barbara Little, located on the northwest corner of Louisiana Highway 935, by Northeast Road and Roddy Road.
Move to open the public hearing, Chairman.
Public hearing is now open. Second,
Move to
by
close.
Councilman, move to close by
Valentine.
Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Shakespeare. Okay, I'll need a motion for, the ordinance.
Agenda item 17. Agenda item 17.
Yes, item 17.
Move the ordinance.
Councilman Valentine makes the motion. Second by Councilman Cullen. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilman Shakespeare.
Yes, when this first came to the council, we had asked DPW to review and see if there was something that a distance for the future expansion of Roddy Road, and that we check and see if we provided setbacks or anything like that for the future as a condition of these rezoning. We don't want to have anyone. We don't want to rezone the property and somebody builds something and we come in right back with a road widening project and have to buy what we just rezoned. And we had asked that they give a recommendation on what should be done for that.
I did speak with ADA O'Neill Parrington, and that's not something that we can do. We had an email correspondence, and he said that we can't impose that on them. So
We can't
Are
impose
these setbacks?
building setbacks in that spot.
yeah, I'll be happy to double check with them, but
I just think we're putting ourselves in a bad situation, is that we're rezoning an area and we're getting ready to widen the road, and we're not making any provisions, and there's no restrictions on what they build there, and so we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot if we don't do any provisions to, for that. Whether it be negotiating with them ahead of time or whatever. I think we ought to look at this. I mean, this is a corner that obviously should be rezoned. I'm for the rezoning, but I also want to protect the parish interest down the line.
Mr. Kent, at the time that anyone was to build in there for a commercial building, there would be a development agreement that has to be done and agreed upon. And at that time, we could request such. But at present, the setbacks from a public road that the parish owns is 55 feet from the center or 25 feet from the property line, whichever is greatest. And on the state road is 75 feet from the center of the road, or 25 feet from the property line, whichever is greatest. But to satisfy what the intent of the council would be, at the time of the development agreement, we could bring that to the table and request a setback.
Well, and because the reason being is probably another intersection that we're going to be looking to put turning lanes, and we're finding out right now just what it costs to go back and do this post-construction. And, I would like to see this go forward, but I would definitely like some type of plan, because we already have stated that we're going to widen the road. I just feel a little uneasy about passing this as is, because I really don't know how we're going to address that issue. If it would be the council's wishes, is that if we could delay this for 2 weeks, till we would get something, I think we would get a better chance to protect the parish. I see no plan at all or anything to protect us.
Certainly at this particular crossroad, there is established businesses there already. And we all understand that by doing this measure of rezoning, they could come back and build another commercial building or a business there. And again, at that time, we could negotiate what the allowance would be. And they would have to go back to drainage, have to go study a traffic study. And certainly with DOTD at the state road, they would be concerned about driveway entrances and such. I think we could cover the bases at that time, but certainly at the concern of this council tonight, we can abide by whatever measures the council agrees upon to go and investigate and see what we can do further for it.
If you feel comfortable that we can protect the parish from here on, or if you give us something that we can do to pass later on in that will protect us down the line before building occurs, then I would be glad to move forward.
That's correct. We can work the issues out, I think, at that time, Mr. Councilman.
Are you comfortable with us being protected as this intersection?
You could put an input in the DOTD.
The setbacks that are set out are standard setbacks based on any general development. Specific development that occurs on the property, you have opportunity to see how that particular development fits into the road itself and any future plans that you might have. The issue, and definitely I'm not an attorney by any means, but you really can't make a conditional zoning.
Yes, sir, I understand.
And I think that's kind of where we're heading for. I think it'd be much better if we wait till we get to the development plan, then you address the impact of the development plan on the road and any plans that we might have.
Okay. If there's anything we need to do to address that legislatively, please let us know so that we can do something to protect us in future projects.
The thing that Parish President pointed out, and I wholeheartedly agree, is that the state standard for general setback requirements is minimum 75 feet. Ours is less than that. I think we're at the point now with the traffic on our roads, it might be appropriate for us to adopt the state standard.
Is it inappropriate to approve this ordinance with state standards, state setback standards, as part of the
Again,
ordinance?
I think that's a legal question. I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable answering that because it applies to a specific property. If you're going to adopt a standard for all over the parish, I would say absolutely. But when we're talking about a specific property, I think I'm treading on dangerous ground anyway.
Right. Lindsay, do you have an opinion?
When I spoke to O'Neill, he said basically when we're taking this property, I mean, it amounts to a taking. Like we're expropriating the property. It's not something that we can do in an ordinance.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Thank you, then. Hopefully we can do it in the building process.
Right.
Councilman Joseph?
But, Ms. Mendon,
Yes.
as DPW Director said, we can change our ordinance to read 75 foot according to state standard. We can come back and amend our current ordinance.
I see no problem with that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just think.
Yes, sir. Councilman Claude?
Yeah, just a brief review is that we got some folks, I don't know them, but they came forward to try to change the zoning. We have recommendations on that. At this point, I don't believe that we can hold them hostage, anybody hostage for trying, just trying to change a rule. We got laws in place. We'll go back to zoning and change. If we want more road right of way or whatever, turn lanes, that'll come up at a later point. I think the point tonight here is whether we want to rezone this or not. That's all.
Okay, sir. Councilman Shakespeare.
Yeah, and I agree with Ms. Cluite wholeheartedly. It's just a question of you rezone for the public good, and for the public good certainly entails whether we're going to spend too much money, whether it's going to cost the parish or not. And so that's all that we were taking into account. That's all.
All right, sir. Anybody else? Any more discussion? Any opposition? Ordinance passes. Number 18, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential, RM, to Crossroads Commercial, CC, Bankers Investment LTD, LLC property, Lot B for Bankers Investment LTD, LLC, zoning review ID 184108, located on the northeast corner of Louisiana Highway 935, by Northeast Road and Ruddy Road.
Purpose: to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map by rezoning a certain parcel of land from rural to crossroads commercial, whereas the Parish of Ascension has in effect a comprehensive plan of zoning. In pursuit to that plan, a parish-wide development code was adopted by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority, which became effective on June 1st, 1999, whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code provides a procedure for its amendment to allow the rezoning of property to a different classification. Whereas the herein below described property is located as such that rezoning the property is in conformity with adjacent land uses, in conformity with the general land use plan of the parish, not injurious to adjacent properties, and fully meets the qualifications for rezoning set forth under Louisiana law. Be it ordained that the following described property be rezoned from rural to Crossroads Commercial, Banker property. A certain parcel of land, together with all buildings and improvements thereon, belonging to and situated in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, in the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 22, Township 9 South, Range 3 East, and Southeastern Land District, more particularly described as Lot B. The map showing the re-subdivision of a 1.973 acre tract into Lot A and B were let me spell that for you. That's DAULATSTHANKI. Said map being dated, prepared by John M. Bankston, land surveyor, signed by James Alton on April 18, 2001, and recorded in the records of the Parish of Ascension on April 24, 2001, under instrument number 485179, in the records in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, said measurements and dimensions being as located on said map. Lot B, comprising approximately 1.166 acres. Be it further ordained that the land use map of the Ascension Parish Development Code be amended to reflect these rezonings, and that the Office of Planning and Zoning be authorized to make such changes.
Move to open the public hearing.
Move to open public hearing by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Cluart. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter, come forward, please.
Move to close, Chairman.
Move to close by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Cluart. Number 19, ordinance to amend this.
Move the ordinance.
Moved by Councilman Shakespeare, second by Councilman Cluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance passes. Number 20, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential RM to Crossroads Commercial, CC, James Boyce property, 1.45 acre tract for James Boyce, located on the southwest corner of Louisiana Highway 935 by Northeast Road and Roddy Road.
Purpose: to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map by rezoning a certain parcel of land from rural to Crossroads Commercial. Whereas the Parish of Ascension has in effect a comprehensive plan of zoning, and pursuant to that plan, a parish-wide development code, which was adopted by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority, which became effective on June 1st, 1999. Whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code provides a procedure for its amendment to allow the rezoning of property to a different classification. Whereas the herein below described property is located as such that rezoning the property is in conformity with the adjacent land uses, in conformity with the general land use plan of the parish, not injurious to adjacent properties, and fully meets the qualifications for rezoning set forth under Louisiana law. Be it ordained that the following described property be rezoned from rural to crossroads commercial, James H. Boyce III property. Be it further ordained that the land use map of the Ascension Parish Development Code be amended to reflect these rezonings, and that the Office of Planning and Zoning be authorized to make such changes. Legal description attached as Exhibit A.
Move to open.
Move to open public hearing, Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Johnson. Anyone wish to speak on item 20, come forward, please.
Move to close.
Move to close by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Shakespeare. 21, ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from, moved by Councilman Shakespeare, second by Councilman Lohr. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance passes. Number 22, public hearing. Parisian Villas and Lafayette Center Spud Development Plan located on the southwest corner of Louisiana Highway 42 and Louisiana Highway 929 for Legend Homes, LLC by Ferris Engineering and Surveying Council, District 11.
Purpose, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map by rezoning a certain parcel of land from medium-intensity residential and crossroads commercial to SPUD. Whereas the Parish of Ascension has in effect a comprehensive plan of zoning, and pursuant to that plan, a parish-wide development code was adopted by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority, which became effective on June 1st, 1999. Whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code provides a procedure for its amendment to allow the rezoning of property to a different classification. Whereas the herein below described property is located as such that rezoning the property is in conformity with adjacent land uses, in conformity with the general land use plan of the parish, not injurious to adjacent properties, and fully meets the qualifications for rezoning set forth under Louisiana law. Be it ordained that the following described property be rezoned from medium-intensity residential and crossroads commercials to SPUD Parisian Villas. Be it further ordained that the land use map of the Ascension Parish Development Code be amended to reflect these rezonings, and that the Office of Planning and Zoning be authorized to make such changes. Legal description attached as Exhibit A.
Move to open.
Motion by Councilman Valentine to open public hearing.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cullen. Anyone wish to speak on item 22, please come forward.
Move to close, Chairman.
Move to close by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Number 23, ordinance, Parisian Villas and Lafayette Center Spud Development Plan.
Move the order.
Moved by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance passes. 24, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from rural R to crossroads commercial CC zoning review, ID 183607, John H. Bro property, A 1.7 plus acre tract for John J. Bro located on the south corner of Louisiana Highway 935, by Northeast Road and Roddy Road.
Purpose, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map by rezoning a certain parcel of land from rural to crossroads commercial. Whereas the Parish of Ascension has in effect a comprehensive plan of zoning, and pursuant to that plan, a parish-wide development code which was adopted by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority, which became effective on June 1st, 1999. Whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code provides a procedure for its amendment to allow the rezoning of property to a different classification. Whereas the herein below described property is located as such that rezoning the property is in conformity with the adjacent land uses, in conformity with the general land use plan of the parish, not injurious to adjacent properties, and fully meets the qualifications for rezoning set forth under Louisiana law. Be it ordained that the following described property be rezoned from rural to crossroad commercial, John H. Bro property. A certain parcel of land situated in the Parish of Ascension in the quarter of Section 22, Township 9, South, Range 3 East, Southwestern District of Louisiana, and more particularly described as commencing at the northwest corner of the property acquired by Val Ndor, herein form Ernest I think it's supposed to be Bursajay, on the 3rd day of January 1906, by deed recorded in COB 40, follow 185 of Ascension Parish, and measure east along Bayou Narcisse Road, a distance of 392 feet, then south between parallel lines, a distance of 384 feet, bound as follows: north by Octave Babin, or the Bayou Narcisse Road, east by Adam, that's Bursajay, south by Adam Bursajay, and west by Feliciana. Said parcel of land, supposed to be conveyed, herein containing 2 arpents more or less. Be it further ordained that the land use map of the Ascension Parish Development Code be amended to reflect these rezonings, and that the Office of Planning and Zoning be authorized to make such changes.
Motion to open public hearing, Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Lower. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, please come forward.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Lower. Number 25, ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from rural R to Crossroads Commercial CC, zoning review ID 1836.07, John H. Bro property.
Motion to move.
Motion to move ordinance by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion?
Question.
Councilman Kluart.
Yeah, just, council, I just want to let it be known that in the absence of Councilman Todd Lambert, that this is in his district, and that he had had some discussion on it the last time it was brought up. So I just want to let that be known, that he's out of the country, and so that he would represent his folks if he was here. Thank you.
Question, Chairman.
Any more discussion? Councilman Valentine.
I have a question for legal. Ms. Manda. The fact that we misspelled several words, does that put us in jeopardy of anything?
I'm sorry.
The fact that we misspelled several words in this
No.
ordinance, does that put us in jeopardy?
No, it does
Okay,
not.
I just want to make sure.
Any more discussion? Any objection? Ordinance passes. 26, public hearing to enter into a servitude agreement with the Ascension Parish School Board.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Shake Snyder.
Got to read it first.
Anyone wishing to speak on item 26, come forward. Go ahead, Ms. Manda.
I'm going to read the ordinance.
She needs to read it first.
She needs to read it first. Go ahead.
Move to close.
Move to close discussion.
Not yet. Not yet. We read it first.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's open.
Reading the ordinance.
Public hearing is open. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what did you say,
Go
Chairman?
ahead.
Okay. Whereas the Ascension Parish School Board has agreed to enter into a servitude agreement with the Parish of Ascension, and whereas the servitude agreement with the Ascension Parish School Board is in the best interest of the parish, and whereas a copy of the proposed servitude agreement, which includes an accurate legal description of the property, is attached as Exhibit A, the Parish of Ascension hereby ordains that it authorizes the parish president to enter into said servitude agreement on behalf of the parish with the Ascension Parish School Board for a portion of land located in Section 32, Township 9 South, Range 3 East, Southeast Land District, Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana. That pursuant to all applicable provisions of law, the office of the parish president is directed and authorized to do whatever is necessary to accept and enter into this servitude agreement for the property described herein.
Open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Anyone wishing to speak on item 26, please come forward.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Councilman Joseph. Second by Councilman Johnson. Number 27, ordinance to enter into a servitude, moved by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion?
Any discussion? Chairman, it's not that we're picky about the way we do this. What we are doing when you do an ordinance is you create a law.
Mhm.
And so if, right now, there's nobody here speaking on a public hearing, so you don't really have a challenge. But if you do it wrong, you can't have a challenge and it can be thrown out. So that's the importance. I'm not being picky.
Yeah, I don't think we heard
You
anything
understand? It's just-
discussing.
Just being.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second. Any objection? Okay, ordinance is passed. Number 28, public hearing for the donation of a vehicle by Ascension Parish to Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office. Amanda?
Purpose, to transfer title pursuant to an active donation of a movable dated, and we'll insert the date that it's signed, owned by the Parish of Ascension. Whereas the Parish of Ascension owns a 1999 Ford Crown Victoria that is surplus equipment and is no longer needed by the parish, be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council, as the governing authority in and for the Parish of Ascension, is hereby authorized the donation, conveyance, and transfer of all rights, title, and interest in one 1999 Ford Crown Victoria bearing the vehicle identification number 2FAFP71W1XX196789 to the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, as is, and without warranty of any kind for the terms and conditions as set forth in the active donation agreement. The agreement is attached hereto and made a part hereof.
Motion?
Motion open.
Motion opened by Councilman Johnson. Second by Councilman Lambert. Anyone wish to speak on item 28, please come forward.
Motion to close.
Motion closed by Councilman Joseph. Second by Councilman Cullen. 29, ordinance for the donation of a vehicle by Ascension Parish to Councilman Lohr. There's a motion. Second by Councilman Shakespeare. Objection? Motion, ordinance carries. Items 30 and 31 we will pass on. 32.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, Councilman Valentine. Second, Councilman Lohr.